how to become a productive Muslim. On behalf of Iman Pit Stop and Harmony IIUM Club, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all participants and our respected guest speaker. My name is Danish Skandar Bispatri and I will be your MC for today's program. First of all, I would love to know, can everyone hear me clearly? If you can, please send a thumbs up in the chat right now. Good. So wonderful. I can see the thumbs up coming in. We are already set and ready to go. But before we proceed, let us begin by reciting Kitab Surah Al-Fatiha. Amin, 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 Ya Rabbal Alamin. Before we begin the session today, allow me to share a few reminders to help everyone gain the maximum benefit from today's program. Firstly, please ensure your microphones are muted throughout this session to avoid disruptions. You are welcome to use the chat box for questions and responses. Secondly, this session requires your full focus and participation. We encourage everyone to eliminate distractions and give their undivided attention to the speaker. For example, if you guys nearby have turned on some music, maybe you can turn it off because we want to put full attention for this. And thirdly, please have your essentials ready, a notebook, pen, or any device for note taking, as there will be valuable insight to capture today. While it may not be possible to cover every productivity technique within today's session, our speaker will provide practical takeaway you can apply immediately in your daily life. So let's all be ready to absorb, reflect, and apply the lessons shared today in becoming more productive Muslim, inshallah. Bismillah. Okay. So are you all excited and ready for today's session? Show us your excitement. Send a heart or like fire emoji in the chat box. Okay. So, finally. So, inshallah, I love the energy here. So let's go. Thank you for your cooperation. Without further ado, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today. Our speaker is Ungku Azan Shah Ungku Chulan, widely known as Azan Chulan, a certified NLP and color brain trainer, international speaker, facilitator, and motivator. He is the founder and principal trainer QTF Consulting in Berhad. His areas of expertise including personal excellence and motivation, communication and presentation skills, leadership, neuro-linguistic programming NLP, color brain and emotional drive, as well as learning creativity and thinking skills. Academically, Brother Azan holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Curtin University, a Bachelor of Architecture with honors from UiTM, a Master's in Human Resource Development from University Putra Malaysia, and a Diploma in Usuluddin from College Dar Al Hikmah. We are truly honored to have him with us today to share his knowledge and insights on how we can become more productive Muslim. So, brothers and sisters, let's show our appreciation and give Brother Azlan the warmest virtual welcome. Send me your clapping hands or hearts in the. All right. So, brother and sister, please join me in welcoming Brother Azlan Chulan. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Danish. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma alhimna ma rashida umurina wa a'izna min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Al-Azizul Jabbarul Mutakabbir, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil azizil azim. Alhamdulillah, first of all, let's praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His blessing, Allah SWT has allowed us to come to be present today for this program. So before I begin, I'd like to show you guys a video. Okay. And let's watch this video first.
Version of ourselves because decisions out of habit and routine. Take what now.
All right. So that's the first video. So let us begin the session. Okay, so let's begin with a conscious Bismillah. Okay, take a moment to say Bismillah consciously. I know we normally tell ourselves before we start doing anything, we'll say Bismillah. But now I want you to, all of us, to do this consciously. And we put in our minds, in our hearts, and we ask Allah, may Allah enable us, put barakah in the session, make it meaningful, powerful, and transformative. Okay? We're taking this journey not just to be productive, to get things done, but we take this journey in order to seek beneficial knowledge, and may Allah SWT give barakah in our session, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right. So I would like to get to know some of you, okay, where you're from. Okay, so I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, before we continue further, right? What I want you to do, just write your name and put an adjective in front of your name. So for example, if your name is Danish, maybe you can put as I'm daring Danish, contour. All right. So for example, for myself, my name is Azlan, so I'm adventurous Azlan. Okay. Or hyperactive Hafiz, doesn't matter. Okay, right. Just put your name, put an adjective in front of your name. Tell me where you're from, and also what course you're doing, and what's your intention of attending this program. All right, go ahead. Can do that. Okay, is the chat on? This is on, is it? So how do I read the chat?
The chat is available for everybody to use it. Yeah.
Chat is available for everybody, yeah? Okay, because, okay, hold on. Okay, please excuse me because I'm not very familiar with Google Meet. I cannot see the chat on my screen. Hold on. I cannot see the chat button. And I cannot.
The bottom right. Bottom right.
Okay, can everybody see my chat there?
Yes, you can.
Okay, yeah. How do I do this? Okay, hold on. Sorry about this. Hold on. Chat. Let's share with me. Looking for the chat button. Okay. I've opened the chat button, but I don't see anybody's chat in here. How is that so? Anybody can help me? Danish or Hafiz? How come I cannot see the chat?
That is it. Yes. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, I see the first one. Alhamdulillah. All right. Okay, I thought I was doing it wrong just now. Okay. Welcome, Danish from Perak, Manufacturing Engineering. How to become a good Muslim. Okay, okay, Danish. Okay, what about the others? You just share your intention. Just your name, your course, and your intention. Just quickly write down. Yes, I know who is present today. Right. Okay, Nazirul. Okay, thank you, Nazirul. IRK Communication. Okay, improve ability to become better Muslim. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Okay. Ada lagi? Anybody else like to share? There? Okay. All right. Okay, no worries. Akram. Okay, medic. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yang lain mungkin mandu agaknya. It's okay. No problem. Okay, so let's continue our session. Okay. So tadi Brother Danish have actually introduced me. So Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy to be here to share with you some things about the Productive Muslim module. So I'll be sharing with you, okay? I'll be sharing with you some things on the Productive Muslim Company. Okay, before that, I'd just like to introduce you to the Productive Muslim Company. So this Productive Muslim Company is a US-based company. It was formed with the intention of conducting leadership programs, okay, which is imbued with spiritual tradition, and the intention is for us to develop spiritually intelligent leaders, which will later on impact the world. Okay, so you see there's a
Sorry.
QR code there.
Sorry. Actually, slightly kita orang nampak, I will see the presenters punya view. So,
Presenter view. Okay, right. Hold on. Okay, terima kasih. Thank you for informing me. All right, hold on. Okay, let me just do that again. Okay. All right. Okay. This one, okay.
tak nampak lagi.
Okay, kejap. Okay, ni nampak?
Yes, click that.
Okay,
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
It's good now.
Okay, all right. Okay, terima kasih. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Okay, this first time I'm using Google Zoom to present. Biasa guna Google Zoom, not Google Meet. Biasa guna Zoom. Okay, so for those of you, you can actually subscribe to our newsletter. You can just scan the QR code there. Okay, if you want to know more about Productive Muslim. Okay, so how will we work together? Okay, so I would, of course, preferably, I would prefer you to switch on your camera so that I know what's going on the other side. I can see your expression, so I will know whether you understand, you don't understand, you're enjoying the session, or you're bored. Okay, so I would like to know. But of course, it's up to you. But I will really appreciate it if you can switch on your camera. Okay, and you can use the chat to share your thoughts, whatever thoughts, reflection you have about the session. And you can ask me any questions along the way. Okay, you can just unmute yourself, or you can ask in the chat session, in the chat box. All right. And also, of course, we're going to have some Q&A session at the end of the program. Right. Okay. So let's start with the conscious Bismillah. Right. So the biggest question today, what does it mean to be the best version of yourself? Okay. So before I answer this question, okay, please share your thoughts in the chat. What do you think it means to be the best version of yourself? Right. Can you share your thoughts on this? There's no wrong answer. Just tell me your thoughts. What you think means to become the best version of yourself. Any thoughts on this? All right, thank you, Aiman. Constantly improving myself. Okay, right, good. Unstoppable. Oh, I like that one. All right, cool. Unlocking your full potential. All right, thank you, Irfan. Okay, anything else? What does it mean to be the best version of yourself? Okay, thank you for your answers. Right. So we're going to look at this question. We're going to answer it in two ways. There's two ways we're going to answer this. Number one, we're going to look at what it means by self itself. Okay. When you talk about the best version of yourself, what does self means? And question number two, we're going to be looking at what does best version mean. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the self. Okay. Thank you, Akram. Continuous improvement. Right. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question. Okay, I want each one of you take out a piece of paper. You take out a piece of paper, or if you have laptop, you're the kind who likes to type in your laptop, you can open a new page with words or PowerPoint. It's up to you. Okay, and answer this question. Okay, the question is, who are you? Right? Who are you? Okay, just write down the points. How would you answer that question if somebody comes to you and asks you, who are you? What would be your answer? All right. Okay, write down the answer or type it in your laptop. Right. Okay, normally people will answer in terms of name, right? Or in terms of where you're from, or what you do. I'm a student, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, or which country you come from. Do you have any international students today in here? I don't think so, eh? Just Malaysian, right? Okay, no problem. Okay, so normally when people ask you this question, these are some of the answers that you give, right? And there's family, profession, hobbies, interests, or religion, or your country, or your tribe, and etc. Okay, just imagine this. Okay, one day you meet with an accident, and then you lose your mind. You lost your memory. Okay, you lost your memory. Okay, so if you lose your memory, then if somebody asks you who are you, what would that leave you with? Okay, so that would only leave you with one answer, right? I'm a human being. right? I'm a human being. Okay, so as a human being, what does the self consist of? Okay, so the self consists of two things. What is it? Number one, we have the body, right? And number two, okay, and we have the soul, right? The soul. So when the body combines with the soul, that's where we come in, and the nafs being formed. Okay, so what are the needs of the body? What are the needs of the body? You can just write down either in your notes or in the chat. What does the body need? What are the needs of the body? Yes, food. What else apart from food? We need shelter, right? What else? We need clothing. Okay, so these are the things. We call it the physical body. We need food, we need water, right? These are the things that we need, right? Food, clothes, shelter, sleep, security, intimacy, entertainment. Okay, what about the soul? What does the soul need? What do you think? What do you think the needs of the soul? Maybe you can just type some of your answers in the chat. All right. Okay, good. Prayer. What else? Zikr. Okay, cool. Spirituality. Right. And anything pertaining to the soul, right? So the soul is actually a spiritual or heavenly thing, right? So the soul needs love. It needs to have a purpose. It needs to understand who God is, right? It needs to find peace. So these are the things that the body and the soul needs. Okay. So now the self, as we know, okay, as psychologists call it, it's like a child. It's like a child, or some people call it like a wild beast, and it's always wants more, and always wants more. So if a child, if you give it too much, what will happen? What will happen to the child? If you give everything that he asks, what will happen to the child? He wants ice cream, you give ice cream. He wants to play games, you give him to play games, let him play games. He wants to sleep, let him sleep. What will happen to the child if you give him everything? Okay. He will become very spoiled, right? He'll become very spoiled. Okay. But on the other hand, if you refrain this child from the things that he wants, and what will the child do? Okay. Normally, they would rebel and retaliate. Okay. I'm sure you still remember when you're small, right? You ask something from your parents, and your parents don't want to give it to you, and then maybe you did something, you went into the tantrum, right? You threw things away, or maybe you cried, or maybe you shouted at them. Doesn't matter. So that's the characteristic of a child. So the self, what it needs to have a balance between the bodily needs and also the spiritual needs. It needs to make good choices. And in order for the nafs to make a balance between in terms of choices, needs to be handled with love and also discipline, right? Because if there's no love and discipline, then the child will either become spoiled or it will become rebellious, just like our nafs. It's just like our nafs. So the next question is, okay, if the child if the nafs is like a child, so who is actually controlling the self or the nafs? Who do you think is controlling the nafs? Okay. Okay. Which part of our of us which is controlling the nafs actually? What do you think? What is controlling us? Okay, yes. Akal, all right. The mind, okay. Okay, anybody else have any other answers? Okay. According to Western psychology, the mind is controlling us, but according to Islamic psychology, okay, this is where it differs with the Western psychology. It's actually the qalb which is controlling the nafs. Okay, the qalb is controlling the nafs. And of course, the qalb is being advised by the akal, right? So the akal is actually advising the qalb, but the decision maker is actually the qalb. So in a situation, okay, for example, if you say you want to fast tomorrow, right? Okay, what will the akal tells the qalb? Okay, the akal will say, Oh no, you better not fast tomorrow. Like tomorrow we have a lot of classes from morning till night, and we have activity in the evening. You're going to be too tired to do anything if you fast. And then what does the nafs say? And nafs will say, yeah, I don't want to fast. I don't want to fast. Okay, no fasting for me. But the qalb says, no, and I want to get closer to Allah. I want to develop my spirituality. Okay, I want to develop my heart. Okay, so basically the qalb will decide and whatever decisions that needs to be made. But of course, it's going to be advised by the aqal. And the qalb, it doesn't exist in isolation. Okay, what do you think are the things which actually influence the qalb? Okay, what do you think which can influence the qalb? Okay, I want you to just write down in the chat. What do you think are the factors which actually influence the qalb? Any ideas? Okay, good. Environment. Good. All right. Yeah, to a certain extent, the effects are high. Okay, thank you. Blue phone. Thank you, Hafiz. Situation. Yes, good. All right. So basically, there are 4 things which actually influence the qalb. Okay. Number 1 is experience. Okay. The experience that we go through in life is going to affect your heart. Okay. And number 2 is actually knowledge. Okay. Knowledge. What you learn. Okay. What you learn, what you know about life, about how to do things, about ibadah, about people. Okay. That is actually also going to affect your qalb. That is why if you read good things, if you read the hadith, read the Quran, and that's the nur from the hadith and Quran, is going to affect the heart. And again, if you read bad things, that's also going to affect the qalb. Your environment, who you interact with. So for example, if you have good friends around you, like for example, you have friends in harmony, and alhamdulillah, and always talking about good things, thinking, worrying about the ummah, right? So that's going to affect your heart. But if otherwise, if you have friends which talks about other things than development or other bad things, then again it's going to affect your heart. And of course, lastly, is the shaitan. Okay, the shaitan will always be whispering to your heart, and that's why in the hadith, there's one hadith which says when Bani Adam is being born, and there will be two makhluk will accompany him. And number 1 is the angel, and number 2 is the shaitan, which we call them Qarin, right? So that's why when we get good ilham or good ideas, in our hearts or in our mind, we should thank Allah SWT because that is from Allah. But when we get some negative thoughts or negative thinking, Rasulullah SAW said that it's from shaitan, and we should say ta'awuz whenever this happens. So we should say ta'awuz billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, so the next question, how can we make our qalb become stronger? Okay, so the heart will become strong when it submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, when it becomes the up of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, only when the heart, there's connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will become strong, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide the heart for all the good things for it to do. Okay, so basically this is the theory of the mankind, what it stands for. So in a nutshell, okay, the nafs consists of the body, physical side, and also the soul, which is the spiritual side, and it has different needs and different requirements. Okay, and this nafs needs to make a balanced choice, which involves love and discipline. Okay, and of course, the nafs is being controlled by the qalb and being advised by the mind, right? Being advised by the mind. The mind is the logical center, they advise it to the qalb. Okay? And the qalb is being controlled or being influenced by 4 things. Okay? The environment, knowledge, your experience, and also shaitan. Okay? So the qalb will become stronger when it has relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so this is what we mean by the self. Right? So is it clear? Okay, anybody have any questions at this point? Oh, okay, all right. Okay, everything's clear. Okay, cool. Okay, so we have answered the question of what does it mean by self. Okay. So every success in life is linked to disciplining the nafs. The most disciplined nafs is the nafs that is true up of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so basically, in order for us to be the up of Allah, is about disciplining ourselves. And that's why it says that this dunya is just like a prison for the mu'min, right? And but it's Jannah for the kafir. Why is it prison for mu'min? Because just like a prison, we cannot simply do things that we want, and we have to follow their rules. There's certain rules and regulations that we have to follow. Okay, so the more we follow the rules, the more disciplined we will be, and the more disciplined we are, then the nearer we will be to become the up of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the safe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And one of the branches of science which involves disciplining the nafs is actually the science of productivity. Okay, all right. So that is the other core question that we need to answer. Okay, so what is productivity? What is productivity? Okay, I want you to write down in the chat, what do you understand by productivity? Okay, discipline. It can be a form of productivity. Thank you, Fatin. Okay, what else? What else do you understand by productivity? What does it involve? Or what is the outcome? Or what is involved in creating productivity? Getting more with less time? Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Hafiz. Doing good, all right. Healthy lifestyle, all right. Yeah, it contributes to being productive. Thank you, Danish. Benefiting others, all right, cool. Okay, thank you for your answers. Okay, so when you say being the best version of yourself, it's about being being the best version of yourself, and how much you can become the up of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, so let's look at how productivity actually started. Okay, so before we go into the Islamic version of productivity, okay, let's look at how productivity started. So it started in 1909 when Frederick Winslow Taylor, and he did a study on how the workers in a factory at that time were working, and their relationship with their output, their productivity, and also how much output was produced by the machines. And of course, he realized that they're not actually fulfilling their potential. Okay, people are not actually doing their best, utilizing their potential when they are working. Okay, so that's how the science of productivity started, and it's called Taylorism. Okay, Taylorism. So the only problem with Taylorism is that number one, the concept of productivity as proposed by Taylorism, which is output, productivity of output, it does not address the needs of the soul or the emotion or the spiritual side. Okay, and number two, it wasn't actually really that scientific. Okay, so we are proposing a different definition of productivity. Okay, it's not merely output. Okay, so productivity based on the productive Muslim is how you use your energy, okay, and your focus and your time, okay, to be the best, towards living the best version of yourself across all your roles. Okay, so as we all understand, and we have different roles in life. Okay, so how can we use this energy, focus, and time, and to fulfill the roles that we have in life? Okay, why is energy important? Okay, if you have energy but you're not focused, okay, you have all the energy in the world but you're not focused, then you wouldn't be productive, right? If you are focused but you don't have the energy, right? You feel weak, or you're focused but you don't have the time to do it. Again, you cannot be productive. Or if you're very energetic but you don't have the time to do the things that needs to be done because you have so many things to do, then again, you cannot be productive. So it has to have all these three elements. And you have to have energy, you have to have focus, and you also need to have the time. So when talk about time, it's about managing your time. Okay, managing your time. And it's not actually managing time, it's actually managing yourself, yourself, right? Okay, so in other words, Productivity is about making smart choices continuously with your energy, focus, and time to live the best version of yourself as an app of Allah across all your roles. Okay, so this is what productivity means. Okay, all right. So any thoughts on this? Okay, any comments or any insights that you have so far about productivity? Okay, what's the difference between the definition of productive from Islamic point of view and the Western point of view? Okay, the biggest difference is that in the Islamic point of view, we have the elements of becoming the best app, right? Becoming the best app of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So that's the biggest difference, how we can benefit others, right? Okay. So the next question, how do you balance productivity across your roles? Okay, as we all know, we have different hats that we are wearing all the time. And you're a child, you're a parent, you're a student, you're a team member. Okay, you have so many things to do. Okay, so we like to introduce the concept of haq balance. Okay, normally in from the Western perspective, they talk about work-life balance, right? You guys familiar with that work-life balance? Okay, so when you talk about work-life balance, and what is the limitation of work-life balance is that there's some sort of demarcation. Okay, and work is work, life is life, two different things. Okay, so we are proposing that work and life shouldn't be separated. Okay, it should be our life. And when we talk about haq balance, it's about how we can actually fulfill the haq, the roles that we have in our life. Okay, Hafiz, can you share the link that I have given you earlier on? It's already in the WhatsApp, right? It's already in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay, you can click on the link. Okay, when you click on the link, you will come to a page where there is an Excel file. Okay, you can actually adjust the file, the rows that you have. Okay, hold on. Just open that file. Okay, hold on. Let me just open the file for you. Can you open the file? Everybody can do that? Anybody has any problem opening the file? If you're okay with that, okay, I'm just going to give you some time to do this the exercise. Just write down your name, the roles that you have. Okay, just write down the roles that you have, and just give some scoring. Okay, so what's important here is your honesty. Okay, you just need to be honest with yourself. It's not about having a high score. What's important here is about you being honest with yourself. Okay, you being honest with yourself. Just put in the scores based on your own observation or your own evaluation. Okay, not based on people's evaluation, right? And I can give you some time to do that. Okay, so for those of you who are already done the total heart balance, okay, you can just say done. Just write done in the chat, so at least I know you're done. Please, are you done? Yes. Danish? Selesai? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, cool. So whoever else is already done, just type done in the chat. Right? Okay, so everybody done? Okay, cool. Okay, any insights that you like to share in the chat? Okay, you don't have to mention any numbers. Okay, just let me know. Just tell us what insights that you discover about your total heart balance. Okay, anybody like to share? Silakan. Okay, anybody got all 10? Okay, was it equal? The scoring that you give for yourself, is it equal for each role that you play, or is it different? Different, right? Okay, cool. Okay, any roles that you managed to get? Okay. Okay, my question for you. Do you think it's possible for us to have 10 for all our roles? Okay, Fatin said no. Fatin said maybe. Okay. Okay, what about the rest? What do you think? It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Okay. The whole point is not to get a 10 for all the roles. Huh? The intention is for you to fulfill the heart. Okay. What I mean by fulfill the heart, for different roles has a different scoring. The minimum score that you need to fulfill is different, right? It depends on the situation. Okay, for example, if during the exam period, okay, what role should be you give attention more to as a student, right? If you are at home and you have to take care of your mother, you have a sick mother or father, what role do you think should be more at that particular time? As a son or as a daughter, as a child, right? Okay. So the roles, the haq which you need to fulfill for different roles depends on the situation, depends on the context. Okay. What's important is that we know where we are now, and we know what is the minimum requirement for us to fulfill that haq. Okay. Everything has haq towards us, right? Everything has haq towards us. Okay. So, okay. All right. So anybody like to share any that you understand? Okay. So you see, okay. So for your eyes have right over you, your body has a right over you, your wife has a right over you, your guest has a right over you, and your friend has a right over you. Okay. So everybody has a right over you. So it's not about getting 10 for all. It's how we can actually fulfill the heart the best that we can, right? So what does productivity means? Okay. Productivity means, okay, it's about making smart choices with your energy, focus, and time, and to live the best version of yourself as an up of Allah across all your roles. Okay, so this is what productivity means. Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Maaf lah ya, tak biasa guna Google ni. Alright, hold on. Let me just share the slide again. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so that brings us to the next question. So what is the link between spirituality and productivity? Okay, so we've spoken about what means to be self, what means to be the best version of yourself, and we talked about productivity. So what is the link between spirituality and productivity? Okay, so the link here is actually barakah. Okay, barakah. So there's one hadith narrated by Sahar al-Ghamidi, and narrated that Prophet said, "Oh Allah, bless my nation in their early mornings." Okay, and this Sahar is actually he's a businessman, so he's a very smart man. So when he learned about this hadith that Rasulullah said, "Bless my nation in their early mornings," so he started to do his business in the early times of the morning. Okay, he sent his goods at the beginning of the day, and as a result of that, he became richer. His wealth grew and increased. Okay, so means there is barakah actually in the morning. Okay, okay, so what is barakah? Okay, so this is the definition barakah by a few people. So according to Imam Raghib Asfahani, says that barakah is the attachment of divine goodness to a thing. According to Dr. Samir Mahmood, the spiritual energy or force that emanates from Allah that enters into people, places, objects, who become conduits for this kind of energy. Okay, and Dr. Abdullah Rahman said that barakah is an abundant flowing positive energy that's a result of being aligned with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dr. Tamara said, spiritual force that comes to a person's life and brings increase without a defined input. Okay, sometimes that's why when sometimes people give sadaqah and Allah ta'ala increase his wealth. And Dr. Khalil Abdul Rashid said that barakah is actually a mystical experience, a form of communication from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's something that we cannot really understand. And so that is barakah. So what is barakah? Okay, in a nutshell, okay, barakah is actually a gift from Allah. Okay, this is the conclusion that we can make from all the definitions that we have heard before. It's actually a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give it to everybody. Okay, when you say it's a gift, it's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to certain people, special people, right? That enters things. It can either be tangible or intangible. So tangible things, things we can hold, like our car, our laptop. Okay, intangible things like time, ideas. Okay, so when there is barakah in these things, what will happen? And it will create barakah effect. Barakah effect. And barakah effect means the thing becomes more or becomes it multiplies in ways that we cannot really understand. And most importantly, Okay, it brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what barakah is. Okay, so when you say nikmat or blessing, when somebody gets something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it might not must not doesn't actually mean it's barakah. Okay, for example, if a person becomes rich, but by becoming rich, he doesn't take care of his prayers, and he doesn't read the Quran, or he makes less zikr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that is not barakah. Okay, so barakah, the most important point is that by having that thing, you become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, that is barakah in the real sense. Okay, so when we look at the formula again, barakah, the missing soul of productivity. Okay, so imagine when you have barakah in your energy. Okay, that means you have more energy to do more things. For example, you study late at night. Okay, but in the morning you still have energy to do other work, right? Or maybe you wake up late at night to do tahajjud, but in the morning you can still attend your classes, no problem. You don't feel sleepy. That is barakah in energy. Okay, barakah in focus. Okay, barakah in focus, maybe you get ideas, you get Allah Ta'ala make it easy for you. Okay, make it easy for you to do your assignment. Okay, that is barakah in focus. And barakah in time is that when you feel that time is being you have more time to do things, even though the time is not that much, but you feel that you have more time. And we can see from history, Imam Nawawi, Rahmatullah alayh, and although he only lived until the age of 44, but he wrote more than a few hundred books, right? And that is barakah. And we see the founder of Al Azhar University and Fatima. Okay, and her name is Fatima. So what she did, she prayed, she fasted for 2 years, and during the construction of the university, and also Allah SWT give barakah to her time. Okay, so this is the basic soul of productivity, which is not being addressed by the Western concept of productivity. That is barakah. Okay, so basically, this is actually a paradigm shift in our understanding of what it means to be productive, right? So productive doesn't simply mean to have more output, but it also means how we can have barakah in the things that we do. Okay. Okay. So the Western culture, what does the Western culture teach us? Okay, there's something that we call the hustle culture. Okay, anybody familiar with the hustle culture? The hustle culture is about, okay, so what people say, they say you study well, you get good results, you enter university, you get a degree, you find a good job, and then you'll be successful, right? That's the hustle culture. But in the barakah culture, it's not simply getting that material wealth, but it's more than that. So how do we look at this culture from a different perspective, from an Islamic perspective? So what we are proposing here, we call it the barakah culture. The barakah culture. Okay, barakah culture. So before we look into the barakah culture, I want to share with you a video about how work became the new religion. All right. Okay, so okay, let me just open the video first. I'll just share this video.
Sorry. Sorry. Azlan. Sorry. Excuse me. The Azlan. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The sound of the video is not. Tak dengar. Tak
You
dengar.
cannot see the sound.
The sound. Yeah, we cannot hear the audio.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, you didn't tell me earlier.
We are
All
trying
right,
to,
sorry
but
about that.
then, yeah, sorry.
Oh, tak dengar eh? Okay, right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, macam mana nak kena sound eh? Hold on cuba lagi. I dah klik dah, also share the audio. So, kenapa dia tak keluar sound ni? Doesn't come out the sound. Oh, no sound. Okay, alright. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, no problem. Apa kita tengok melalui YouTube boleh? Okay, hold on. Just bear with me for a while. I will open it from YouTube and then I will share the video. Hold on.
Structure.
Okay. Okay, dengar ke?
Not clear, actually.
Okay, ada sound ke?
Sekejap. So cannot be heard.
Okay, sound dia.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Tak ada sound juga Okay lah, tak apalah. Okay, no worries. Okay, I don't know why there's no sound. Okay, you can see the subtitle. You want to see the subtitle without the sound? Is that okay? We can just skip. We get the idea. Basically, it's talking about work becoming religion. Okay, tak apalah. Kita you guys okay ke kalau if you look at the video without the sound? I don't know why there's no sound. It's really surprising. So boleh lah I'll just show the video but without the sound. Okay ke? Boleh ke? Boleh Okay lah, kita tengok je lah subtitle lah. I don't know why there's no sound.
I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Apa Hafiz?
Share my own screen. Okay.
Always wanted to be a YouTuber. After high school, she got to work, posting videos nonstop. She even one.
Hi, I'm Elle Mills, and I'm bisexual. Imagine if Ferris Bueller had a YouTube channel.
In.
Elle Mills. Have you discovered Elle Mills yet?
She made her passion
Okay,
into
I
a
think I'm gonna
career.
start the video.
Work
Rupanya
became
dah
her
kena
whole
nampak ni.
identity. And then one day, she
Okay, tak apa, tak apa.
Ever wanted. Fuck, am I so unfuck?
else is an important question. Should a job provide a paycheck or a purpose?
Okay.
This idea of bragging to people.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to kita patah balik ke punya slide tadi. Okay, so basically tadi the video it was talking about workism, right? Workism is a new term that people are coining, where people becomes work becomes identity for people, kan? And it becomes the centerpiece of their life. Okay, so what is the effect of workism? Apa kesan dia? So as we all know, there's a lot of burnout. People are stressed. People get anxious about their work, right? And they're not happy with their life, and everything is centered with their work, and they don't have anything other things to do. And that's why when they're too busy with work, sometimes they neglect their prayers. Okay, they don't have time for their social life. They don't have time for their family, and this is actually not good for the soul, right? Okay, so in Productive Muslim, we are proposing a different culture to replace this hustle culture. We call it barakah culture. Okay, barakah culture. Okay, so what's the difference between barakah culture and hustle culture? Okay, number one, barakah culture is God-centric as opposed to ego-centric. Okay, for hustle culture, it's about me, myself. Okay, my career, and my success. It's about me, right? But in barakah culture, it's about God-centric. Okay, I'm doing this for Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, right? And so Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala pleased with me. So that is barakah culture. And number two, hustle culture is focused on worldly gains, right? And what you get in this world in terms of material, in terms of reputation, in terms of whatever gains that you have. But barakah culture, we are focusing on the akhirah. Okay, whatever we do, we are thinking what is the effect that we are having on the hereafter. Okay, so that is the difference. Number three, okay, hustle culture focus on material results. It's about having the best car, the biggest house, and the most money. Everything is about material. But barakah culture, everything we do, we are focusing on Allah's acceptance. Okay, does Allah SWT accept me? Does Allah SWT accept my amal? Okay, that will be our overriding factor rather than focusing on material. Okay, for hustle culture, we are never satisfied. It's always more, right? They push you to get more, to make more sales, to produce more, okay, to become higher, to become bigger, become the best in whatever you do. And but in barakah culture, and we will feel contented with whatever we have. Okay? Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, and we are contented. and make syukur to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. In other words, we have qana'ah, and we feel enough with what we have. Okay. Hustle culture, you are seeking credit. Okay. We want people to acknowledge us, to give us credit for the things that we do. But for barakah culture, we are grateful. Whatever we get, we are grateful to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Okay. Hustle culture, we are distracted. We are very rushed, busy, running here and there, right? And you see people in KL early in the morning, they will leave their homes, and even when it's still dark, and people are always busy, always rushing here and there. Okay, there's a difference when you drive in Kuala Lumpur or when you drive in the villages in kampung-kampung. Kan? Kuala Lumpur, normally people are more aggressive driving, right? And when you do mistake, people will horn and will press their horn to you. Kan? But when we look at Rasulullah SAW, okay, do you think Rasulullah SAW is a very rush person? Do you think he's distracted or he's a very busy person? No. Rasulullah SAW was very focused, very tranquil. He was present with everybody. And no matter how many roles that he has to play, no matter how many things he has to do, to fulfill, but he's very focused, very present, and very tranquil. Okay, so that is barakah culture. Next one, hustle culture. We talk about sense of entitlement. I'm entitled for this, and I deserve this, right? Now that's why when people work, when they don't get promotion, they don't get promoted, and they become angry, right? But for barakah culture, and whatever we do, we feel this is a responsibility from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This amanah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm doing this because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given me this responsibility, right? That's the difference. And lastly, the hustle culture, and you want to get, you're thinking in terms of short terms, you make big moves, and there's pivot, but in barakah culture, you do small things, but you do consistently of istiqamah. Okay, and you're looking at long-term efforts. So these are the differences between barakah culture and hustle culture. Okay, so what do you think? Any questions or any insights or any response to this barakah culture versus hustle culture? Anybody like to share anything based on what you experience yourself, or based on what you see, and maybe how you see your parents work, or how you yourself are living life today? What do you think of this barakah culture as compared to hustle culture? Okay, any thoughts? Okay, you can share in your chat, or you can just unmute yourself. Okay, silakan.
Can you hear my voice? That's like the result of having about culture. So what are the process to get there? I mean, like on individual level and the society level.
The process, okay, hold on. Can you just repeat the question? I'll just put in my earphone.
So the question is, how do we get to this barakah culture, to this result that it can somehow become content, grateful, just tranquil and pleasant, because the culture itself around us doesn't seem to support us towards that goal. So, and I mean, like on individual level and the societal level. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What's the thing? Maybe let me setting this.
On the audio settings, I think you can look for the microphone. Maybe you can change it to think that, yeah. That's really good.
Chris, can you hear my voice?
Yes, now I can.
Oh, now you can hear.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, now I can.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, all right. Okay, so basically, the Productive Muslim Company or the Productive Muslim Program is about how we can bring barakah into our life. Okay, how we can bring barakah into our life by focusing on our focus and our energy and also our time in the way shown by Rasulullah SAW. Okay, so it's actually there's 5 modules. Okay, this is actually just the first module. Okay, that's the first module. But if you're interested to know more about the barakah culture, okay, you can actually go to our website. Okay, go to our website, or you can just scan this QR. Okay, scan this QR. Barakah Foundation, we have a free course. We have a free program on the barakah culture. Okay, there are several videos in there. You can listen to Muhammad Faris and his explanation of barakah, what causes us to lose barakah in our life, how we can bring barakah in our life. All those things are being answered in this program. Okay, so if you are interested to know more about the barakah culture, you can scan the QR on the screen. Okay, and you can enroll for the program. It's a free program. Okay, it's a free program. You can just watch the video as many times as you want. Okay, all right. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. Okay. So, any other questions that you have? Okay. All right. Okay. Blue Phone. Thank you for your comment. We need to be grateful for what we get, but we are all entitled to some rights, like job promotion for a work well done, but should find a balance. Yes, correct. Okay. So, in the Productive Muslim culture, in the barakah culture, okay, we are actually, we feel contented with what we have, but at the same time, we should have high aspirations. We can be very ambitious, and we can be ambitious about the things that we do in life. Okay, it's not wrong to be ambitious. Contented is a different thing. Being content with what we have is different from being ambitious. Okay, some of the misunderstanding or misconception that people have, they say, oh, if you feel contented, that means you're not ambitious. No, right? Being contented is being happy with what Allah SWT give you in life. For example, the money that we have, the car that we drive, the house that we live in. We are grateful for what Allah SWT has given us, but we can still be ambitious in our aspirations, and how we want to contribute to society, how we want to bring good to others, or how we want to achieve excellence in our career. Those are two different things. Okay, so in Islam we are encouraged to be excellent in whatever we do. All right, so it doesn't mean that if we adapt the barakah culture, we cannot be ambitious, right? So that's one of the misconception that some people have. Okay, thank you, Blue Phone, for pointing that out. Yes. Okay, anybody else have any other questions that you'd like to ask? Okay, so you can join this program. Okay, we have this free program in the Productive Muslim website. It's free. Okay, you can watch the videos. You can learn more about the barakah culture. Okay, it's very, very useful. So I just want to share with you the Productive Muslim framework. Okay. So basically, the foundation is about having sincere intention. So whatever we want to do, we have to have sincere intentions, and we should be prepared to do hard work, to give in the hard work. Correct our intentions, our niyyah, because when our intentions are correct, then Allah SWT help will be with us. Innamal a'malu binniyat. Okay, so that's the foundation. And once we have the foundation right, and you need to make smart choices with your energy, your focus, and also your time. Okay, these 3 things, which is mentioned in the definition of productivity just now. So when you have productivity, it will be easier for you to fulfill all your roles, or to fulfill the total heart balance. And across all your roles. You can become a better father, become a better student, better friend, a better committee member, whatever roles that you are playing. And lastly, ultimately, going to become the best of Allah and to become His Khalifa in whatever we do. So this is the productive Muslim framework. Okay, this is about setting the right intentions and using your energy, focus, and time and make smart choices so that you can fulfill the roles and fulfill the total heart balance and become the best of Allah. Okay, so that is the okay. So the first experiment that we are going to do today. So my question for you: what is the next best version of you? Okay, what's the next best version of you? Okay, in the WhatsApp group, we've given you the link to a self-assessment. Okay, may I know anybody who has done that assessment? If yes, please type yes in the chat. Or if no, okay, all right, cool. Okay, some of you have done it. Okay, so for those of you who haven't done it yet, okay, you can do that. Oh, okay, ramai dah buat Ramai dah buat ke? Right. Okay, so a few of you have done it. All right. So the scoring is for you to know. Okay, the scoring is for you to know. Okay. So what does it mean to be the next best version of yourself? Okay. When we talk about self-transformation, we want to do it little by little. Okay. Step by step. So the next best version of you should be version 1.1. Okay. Just like the handphone. Okay, the first time the iPhone was produced in 2007. And version 1.0. Now, what's the version now for iPhone now? 17, is it? Who's using iPhone now? Anybody using iPhone? What is the latest version for iPhone now? Is it 17? I don't know because I don't use iPhone. Okay, so maybe version 15 or 17. I don't know. But basically, there's a progress, right? From version 1 goes to version 2, version 3. So the same with ourselves. So you want to make that transformation, okay, we need to do the progress step by step. Okay, make it 1.1, version 1.1, version 1.2, version 1.3. Okay, thank you, Junaidi, version 17. All right. So my question for you, if you want to be the best version of yourself, how does it look like spiritually, physically, and also socially? Right? What does it look like? Okay, I want you to write down either on a piece of paper or in your laptop or in your phone. Okay, what changes would you like to make for yourself? Okay, if you don't have any idea, you can use the self-assessment as a benchmark. Okay, use the self-assessment as your benchmark. Okay, in terms of your energy, in terms of your salah, in terms of your zikr, in terms of your social life, okay, in terms of your learnings, in terms of your physical. Yeah, how would it look like? What would version 1.1 look like for you? Right? Yeah, I just want you to just write that down. You just write down three things first as a starter. Okay, what is version 1.1 for you spiritually? Let's write that down. Okay, what is version 1.1 for you physically? Okay, maybe spiritually. Example, okay, I want to pray awal waktu. I want to pray on time, for example. I want to read Quran every day. Okay, or I want to make azkar or zikr in the morning and in the evening. That is my spiritually version 1.1. Physically, what do you want to do physically? Maybe you want to exercise 20 minutes a day, or you want to eat healthily, okay, or you want to make sure you sleep early every day. It doesn't matter. Just write down one thing. And socially, what do you want to do to improve yourself socially? Version 1.1. Okay. Maybe you can visit your friends, or you want to call your long lost relative, or you want to help somebody, whatever way you can. Okay, just write down those three things. Okay, silakan. Give you some time to do that. Okay, Hafiz, is there a breakout room? Yeah? No, no breakout room, eh? Okay, no problem. There's a breakout room in Google Meet. Okay, once you have done that, okay, another question that you need to ask yourself, what would get in the way of you living the next best version of yourself? Okay, what would be the blocks that you might face? Okay, is it in terms of your time? Okay, is it in terms of distraction? Is it in terms of people? In terms of your motivation? Okay, just write one thing that would be the biggest hindrance for you from getting for you to become the best version of yourself. Just write one thing. All right. Okay, so you can continue doing that if you want to later on. Okay, so what did you learn today? Right? Okay, please share in the chat one thing that you learned from the session today. You feel beneficial or useful for you. Okay, and share in the chat so that others might benefit as well. Okay, so in the beginning we thought about the version of what it means to be best version of yourself, the concept of self itself, and akal, nafs, qalb, what affects your akal. And then we look at productivity. What is the definition of productivity from the Islamic worldview? Okay. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Fatin. Right, meaning of barakah is meaning Alhamdulillah. So, Fatin, I hope you will visit the website, okay? And you'd like to know more about the barakah principle, okay? Please watch the videos. So we have free videos in the Productive Muslim website, okay? If everybody else needs to get the QR, okay, let us know. We'll share with you in the group or the link, right? Okay. Can anybody else like to share? What did you learn today? All right. Okay, thank you. Junaidi, spiritual energy, physical energy. Oh. Okay. Right. Hustle culture, difference between hustle culture and barakah culture. Right. Okay. Thank you. True. Betul, Khalila. Okay, so our goals is different. To become Muslim, ultimately, how we can become better abds of Allah, become the slave of Allah, okay, as compared to the Western definition of success, right? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. So, okay, I'm happy to hear that some of you have learned something today, all right? Okay, so I'd like to open for Q&A session. If we have any questions that you'd like to ask, okay, I open the session to you. Kalau apa-apa nak tanya, okay, silakan. Any questions that you'd like to ask?
So in this session, if you guys want to ask anything, thank you.
Boleh ulang balik tak,
Can open
Dennis?
your mic.
Okay,
No,
right. Okay,
I
well, you're
just
talking to them. Okay,
welcome
sorry.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have the question from the Khalila. Can you open your mic or put it on the chat? I think better is open your mic to hear your voice or your question.
Okay, Assalamualaikum,
Assalamualaikum
Sir
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Aslan. My name is Halila, and my question is, you mentioned that our goal is not to reach 10 in roles, is to reach the bare minimum of each of our roles. And I would like to ask, do we know what the minimum of each role that we have? Thank you.
Come again, I didn't get the last part. What? The role that we have? Can you just repeat the last part of your question?
Oh yeah. No. Minimum of each role that we have.
Okay, good question. Okay, the minimum score for the role that we have, that depends on you. You need to know what is the minimum requirement that you need to fulfill for each role, because different people have different requirements, right? So like I mentioned just now, if your parents are healthy, then your role as a child, as a daughter, if you give them a call once a week, they'll be happy, right? But if you have maybe parents who are sick, example, okay, maybe they expect more from you. Maybe they expect you to call them every day. At least you need to ask them how they are doing, right? Okay, so that is the minimum requirement. It depends on the context, depend on the situation. So it's different for everybody. Okay, so that's one example. So you need to identify and you need to define what is the minimum requirement that you need to fulfill for each of your roles. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay, good question. Okay, anybody else have any other questions that you'd like to ask? Okay,
So
if
okay.
yeah, Hafiz, you have a question?
So from the chat we have one. Is the lack of barakah always due to wrongdoing, or can it be a test?
Okay, good question. Lack of barakah always due to wrongdoing, or can it be a test? Right. Okay, so of course, barakah, we can lose barakah from our life due to certain things, right? Okay, for example, when we don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we stray away from the right path, right? Or when we do things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibits us from doing, okay? And then the barakah will be taken away. For example, okay, have you ever been in this situation before? You're doing your work, you're doing your assignment, okay, doing your assignment, then you hear the call of azan, okay? Hear the call of azan. Okay, deep down inside, you know, okay, I should take a break, do my prayers first, and then I can continue my work. But due to some reasons, you tell yourself, no, I'm just going to do a bit more. So you continue doing your work. You continue doing your work. You continue doing your work, and then suddenly, something happens to your laptop. Has anybody ever experienced this before? Well, I'm talking this from experience. I experienced this myself. Okay. So that, what is the wrongdoing there? Because the thing that we're supposed to do is to perform our prayers, right? But because we delayed our prayers, and because of that, the barakah is being taken away. Okay, the barakah is being taken away. So whatever job, the work that you have done for the past 1 or 2 hours, gone. It's gone. Right? So that's one example. Okay, that's one example. Okay, how is it a test? Okay, a test, wrongdoing is totally different from test. Test is whenever we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a test, either to remind us, okay, or to make us go back to the right path, so that we remember him better, right? So there's some sort of correlation actually between barakah and test. Okay, so due to a test, barakah can be taken away. Okay, that's how barakah affects the wrongdoing will affect the barakah in our life. Okay, so but the test, it can be it doesn't have to be something bad. Okay, it doesn't have to be something bad. Allah SWT will test you. Maybe Allah SWT love you. Allah SWT want to give you something better. Allah SWT wants to reward you. Okay, wants to reward you. But it doesn't mean that there's no barakah in the test. Okay, okay. If we look back at the definition of barakah, right? The definition of barakah is something which brings you back to Allah SWT. So if because of certain tests that we go through in life that brings us closer to Allah SWT, then there might still be barakah in that situation, even though we feel that, oh, it's not going, things are not going the way that I want it to be, right? Okay, so Allah Allah. Does that answer your question, Fatin? Okay, right. Okay, okay, right. Okay, any other questions?
Question. What is the meaning of being in the culture compared to Barakah culture? You're focused
What is the meaning?
of being distracted in hustle culture.
Being distracted.
Yes. In a hustle culture.
Okay. What is the meaning of being distracted in the hustle culture?
Yes.
Being distracted. Okay. Being distracted. There's three things that you can be distracted, either with your akal, or your heart, or your nafs, right? So number one, if you are distracted with your akal, that means maybe there's too much in terms of if you're distracted in the hustle culture, you're not focusing on the right things in life. Okay, you're focusing on the wrong things. And that might be one meaning for distracted. So for example, in our life, our focus should be on ibadah. Our focus should be on how we can become closer to Allah, how we can help other people, how we can benefit others. But when you are distracted by the hustle culture, you lose sight of the bigger picture. Okay? You lose sight of akhirah. Okay? Because you only see the things in front of you. Okay, but ultimately we are going somewhere far, right? We have something bigger ahead of us. So when you say you are distracted, the hustle culture is about forgetting the akhirah and only focusing on this world, right? So it's one thing. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. Right. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, kalau tak ada, kalau tak ada, let us close this session with dua. So before that, I would like to say thank you, Jazakumullah khairan katsiran, for all of you, okay, for attending the session, okay, and for all the questions that you have given. So I hope this session have benefited you in some way, and may Allah SWT give us the tawfiq and the strength to become a better person and to become a version 1.1. Right? So if anybody have any questions after this, or you'd like to know more about the Productive Muslim program, you can let me know through Hafizuddin. And Jazakumullah khairan katsira to Harmony and to Hafiz and Danish for organizing this program, walaupun last minute juga kan? Adalah last minute. So still okay lah. And Alhamdulillah still managed to organize this. Okay, so hopefully in the future can have more sessions like this, inshallah. Right? So let's close our session. Okay, so I pass the session back to the MC, Brother Danish.
Jazakallah khairan, Brother Azlan, for that truly insightful and inspiring sharing. May Allah reward you abundantly, inshallah. So before we officially close today's program, we would like to invite everyone to join us for a group screenshot session to commemorate this meaningful program, inshallah. So kindly turn on your cameras on the count of 3, 2, 1, so that, so Hafizuddin maybe can be the one who will screenshot it. Okay. All right. So in the count of, sorry. Okay, thank you so much. Wonderful. So,
You ready? So, and smile.
All right. Jazakallah khair.
thank you, Brother Hafizuddin. So with that, we can come to the end of our program today, How to Become a Productive Muslim. On behalf of Imam Principal and Harmony Ayun Club, we sincerely thank you again, Brother Azlan Shulan, for his time, energy, and invaluable knowledge shared with us this afternoon. We also thank each and every one of you for your presence, your patience, and your participation. We hope that the lessons that we gain from today serve as a beneficial reminder and a practical guidance in your daily life. So we look forward to welcoming you again in future programs. Until then, take care, stay productive, and keep striving to be the best version of your life, of yourself, for the sake of Allah, inshallah. So with that in mind, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Don't forget to also fill up that form and the link to the WhatsApp shop.
Shukran.
Start recording kan?
Dah bila dia share link file.
We're giving the evaluation as well, please. Kita run it in the. Okay, ada phone call. Okay, nanti I'll talk to you later. Okay, please. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.